So I'm here with Alex Walton from Ibiza to Norfolk Broads. Really excited to have the show open in Worthing on the tour. Could you tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, it's following the character of Martin, who is a Bowie obsessive, and he's got a few sort of ailments. He's sort of socially awkward, and he has an eating disorder, and all of these things kind of mean that he spends a lot of time in his home. And then he gets a letter from his dad on his 18th birthday, who he hasn't seen for 16 years. So his dad left when he was 2. And then he follows this journey that his dad gives him, follows it around David Bowie's London, so Soho, Westminster, Fitzrovia, all various different places that are quite pivotal to Bowie's career. And then, so he goes on this journey through London, and then he finds himself in a situation at the end, which I won't divulge because obviously people want to come and see it. But
so in essence, in following the footsteps of David Bowie, kind of discovers more about his own past and his life.
Exactly, yeah. Sort of the various different characters that he meets. I play all the different characters in the play, so it's the solo show. And each character that he comes across opens up another element to sort of his social skills, his view on life, how he sees things, his obsessions and his passions. And each one gives a little bit more of an insight who to Martin is, and then it's completely unravelled at the end, and you kind of get to know exactly sort of what is the crux of him and the crux of his obsession and what all of this story has been culminating to.
Excellent. And so you've had your run at the Waterloo East Theatre in London.
Yeah.
How have the audience reactions been so far in the reviews and such?
Yeah, they've been really nice. The reactions have been fantastic. Like, everybody's sort of been really complimentary and positive about it. The one thing that we are getting a lot of is the end of the show. It's sort of slightly ambiguous, which was a written in, element to it, because we wanted people to kind of we didn't want to necessarily put a lid on the story and go, right, this is exactly what happens. We want people to make up their own minds and decide upon themselves where Martin goes after the end of the show. So a lot of people have been sort of discussing that and in two minds about which way it goes. But that's the beauty of theatre, and it kind of opens up that dialogue between people, and people in the pub afterwards are talking about it, and that's what we think really gives a good show.
So David Bowie, obviously a very hot topic this year, and a tragedy, that he passed away. So what was your kind of personal experience with Bowie?
Well, we did the show originally 16 years ago, and I played the character of Martin when I was 19.
That's you, the place to there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's me.
16 years ago.
16 years ago, yeah. So I've been growing this for 16 years now. And yeah, it was I was introduced to him. I mean, I've always had music elements in my life. Like my stepdad was a roadie for various different bands, so I've always had quite an eclectic taste in music. But Bowie has always been one of those characters that really fascinated me, because you kind of never quite sure who he's going to come out with next, or what direction he's going to go in. And when he passed away, it's not like, you can't compare it, or for me personally, I mean, I know that there are people out there who do compare it to losing a loved one or a family member, and to me it wasn't necessarily that essence, but it definitely left a gap, because there was so much associated with him, with the original show, and my relationship with Adrian, the director. Like, we've got a massively tight bond, and it's all stemmed from Ibiza to the Norfolk Broads. So Bowie was a massive part of our lives as friends, first and foremost. And when he passed away, it was just almost like you don't necessarily have that tangible person there that you can say, okay, I'm potentially going to meet him. It's like, okay, that ship sailed. That's not going to happen now. We did get communication from him, and he requested to meet us and to see footage of the show and things like that when the original show was done.
Did you actually meet him?
Which was fantastic. No, we got an email from him saying good luck with the show and everything like that. But it was fantastic to get that.
Amazing. And finally, it's a very challenging character to take on. It's a very obsessive personality, and obviously being a big Bowie fan himself probably helps, isn't it? So what's it been like kind of taking on this role?
It's been really challenging, but also very enjoyable. because I played Martin in the original show, it almost felt like, even though 16 years had sort of gone under the bridge, it was almost like I could kind of fit myself back into him in quite a seamless way, which was nice. The fact that I play the 8 other characters as well, that was a bit more tricky. But just kind of work on each one of those individually, and then kind of brought them all together in rehearsals, and thankfully they all kind of bounced off each other quite nicely, and there wasn't too many tweaks that needed to happen. But I think there's a sort of social awkwardness with Martin and an innocence that's really quite nice to play with, because that's not necessarily who I am. I'm sort of quite gregarious and outgoing, so it's nice to sort of flip myself on its head to a certain extent and play that innocence and kind of be a little bit more sheepish and a bit more apprehensive about things. And that's what I enjoyed with playing him.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for talking with us, Alex.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.